welcome to 5-9 Gaming. My name's JPhanta, and today I have with me MinatoFlash.
Hey everyone.
And today we are going to be counting down the top 10 best free-to-play Dokkan cards of all time. Before we get into the tier list, remember to leave a like on this video and subscribe. Follow 5-9 on all their social media platforms using the Linktree link down below in the description. But without further ado, let's begin with our number 10 spot here. I'm going to start things off with the Int Tur, Easy A, Super Saiyan Gotenks, and Ghost. Okay, so the really good thing about this card is that he works both in free-to-play and pay-to-play situations. Because there's a lot of cards in the pay-to-play teams that requires rainbow orbs, him able to change rainbow orbs is very, very important. And of course, he can greatly raise his own attack and defense, making him a very solid second or third unit slot in the team, since he'll be actually really defensively good, especially if you kit him out with mostly additional super attacks. He can still output some decent damage depending on how many orbs you collect. And of course, being a fusions unit, his link set is going to be very good for the fusion category. It's not like that he's limited to the fusion category as well, of course. You know, he can run on many different teams, which is good. And if you don't have a fusions leader by some chance, then he can be an okay leader for 77% stat boost. Do you have anything to add on to that?
No, I would say basically you covered the main best things about the unit. Another thing I would smallly add is that he does have the high chance to stun the enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very helpful in extreme Super Battle Road situations.
Yeah, so very, very good for Super Battle Road. Infinite Dragon Ball History event for some time, especially for the healbacks. A very solid card, worthy for our number 10 spot.
All right, and moving on to the number 9 spot, we're going into the 2000 Day Goku, the Easy A 1K Day Goku, basically. One of the very strong things about him would be his all types leader skill. Personally, I feel like it's just a very useful thing to have for free-to-play and, reoccurring players, not even just free-to-play players in general. His super attack effect is very strong, and along with his nuking ability and his all start of turn defense, allows him to be a pretty solid slot 1 unit, being able to buff your entire rotation. The healing is also a nice aspect, given you're able to give him a decent amount of orbs, which this guy definitely would like. As a Goku unit, of course, he's on a decent amount of categories and good categories, things like Majin Buu Saga, Pure Saiyans, and Goku's family. And he has a pretty solid link set for a Saiyan with things such as Prepare for Battle, Saiyan Lineage, and Legendary Power.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to add is do not be mistaken with his passive. The reason why he's not like higher in the list is because he doesn't actually stack. After reading it, I figured it out, but like his defense plus 1000 is only for the turn, pretty much. I believe is what it's actually supposed to be worded, and it lasts for 1000 turns. I was one of those dumb people that mistaken it as a stacking passive.
Yes, if it was a stacking passive, he would definitely be higher up there, but because of that, I think he's more suited for a little more shorter events, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I do like his 12 key super, which raises allies' attack and defense for 2 turns. It actually can be very, very strong, especially if you get those additional super attacks. Alright, so for our number 8 unit, we have the Int Final Form Frieza, the Easy A one. You get him from the Full Power Frieza Dokkan event from Stage 1. He is a very, very strong card because he's passive that allows him to guard all attacks and activate damage reduction as long as you're versing a Goku's family. It's so strong because of the fact that half of the enemies that you do verse is in Goku's family, and it just makes him a really reliable unit to tank. And he can do some debuffing with his super attack mechanic, and he's still got a decent amount of attack and defense at 100%. Also, being a Frieza unit, you always have that good link set. Universe's most malevolent, strongest clan in space, nightmare, prodigies, and it is one of the few free-to-play cards to get Fierce Battle. And he has a plethora of categories to boost him up.
Another thing to add on among that, of the amazing things he already does, the damage reduction by 50% when guard is activated. Of course, it doesn't have to be just against a Goku family category enemy. If he's facing, for example, a tech enemy, I believe, you will be able to get that guard. So in things such as Extreme Int, Extreme Super Battle Road, if you're just in a normal Super Battle Road stage, but there's a tech enemy, you would still have that 50% damage reduction against those certain enemies, which makes them useful for, again, things like Extreme Int, Super Battle Road.
Yeah, and for every Super Battle Road he is in, and you're able to use him, he pretty much always has that passive activated anyway, so a very good unit to bring on Super Battle Road.
Alright, and moving on to the number 7 spot, we do have the LR Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Vegeta. This guy has definitely stood the age of time. He's just really amazing. He raises attack and defense. He has a solid, 80% attack and defense on top of those LR stats. He finds it pretty easy to get ki as well, especially not only by his passive, but by his amazing link set, having things like Prepare for Battle, Shattering the Limits, Fuse Fighter, also having some nice attack links like Super Saiyan and Legendary Power. He's on pretty nice teams, things such as Battle of Wits, Realm of Gods, Patara, and definitely a unit you could use in multiple sections of the game, whether in short events or long events. Overall, very powerful units.
The only thing drawing him back, of course, is that 18 key super. If you do drop underneath a certain amount of HP, you do automatically get that 18 key super. And for most part of the games that he is in, you kind of just want to get his 12 key. So hopefully one day in the future he gets that easy A that we're all dreading for to fix this issue. But other than that, he's a very, very solid unit with a good percentage in attack and defense, and of course, good stats. Halfway through the list here, almost, we are doing Demon King Piccolo as the number 6 spot. Demon King Piccolo, where to begin? He is a tank for everything, really. That 50% damage reduction at a minimum, that's not even counting when he transforms, which is, sometimes fairly hard to do, but for the most part, when you bring him to Super Battle Road, he can activate it turn 1 sometimes. He can tank. He's got the orb changing, which I think everybody, finds that very valuable. It may not be rainbow orbs, but to tech orbs to help him 18 key super, it can be very, very good. Not only does he have that damage reduction, his super attack mechanics, both of them, have that raise defense. So slot 2, slot 3, he's going to tank pretty much all attacks that comes along his way as long as you activate that damage reduction. And when he does transform, he actually doesn't need that orb restriction for a few turns, which is really good. He's got that nuking passive, so, combo with the orb changing, he's going to output some decent damage. And I think one of the most valuable things here, especially for free-to-play, is that Terrifying Conqueror's category leader for 120% stat boost. If you don't have, like, Cooler or LR Turles, this guy is a great substitute. And he isn't too hard to get as long as you were around the time when the World Tournament, JP's is over, but Global, you can still get him. And then JP, if you were in the past World Tournaments, you should have gotten him. It's fairly easy to get. I think one downside is that for most of his teams, he doesn't really have the great link set. What do you think? Like, other than Nightmare, what do you think you activate most of these link sets or not?
I would say it's very important for him to have, for example, Shatter the Limit in terms of key links. You can kind of get Revival, but I do agree his Legendary Power as well. I do agree. Things like Incredible Adventure, Guidance to the Dragon Balls, those type of links you won't activate too often. But at the very least, he does create his own tech key spheres, which he's able to use and get his, for example, his 50% damage reduction before he transforms. And he's on a number of category teams that could definitely use the help and definitely could use, the assistance of this tech key sphere change, which is still a helpful ability to have. Alright, and halfway through the list, we are on to the number 5 units, which would be LR Pan, GT Honey, or as we know, LRB Pan. I really have enjoyed this unit for quite a long time, and her Extreme Z Awakening only made her just so much better. She has a medium chance to stun on 12 key, she can greatly raise her attack now on 18 key, which allows her to do so much damage, and doing damage is very important for her because she recovers 33% of her damage dealt as HP, which can be pretty huge, especially if you're able to get those critical hits. This B-Pan can basically heal your entire HP people are in the right situations, which is absurd. It's basically a free item at times. Now she also gets herself high chances to give herself ki. While it's not the most impressive thing, only being a high chance, it allows her to be more consistent with her healing ability specifically. She also now guaranteed damage, reduces her damage received by 55%, which given that she has LR stats is a pretty nice thing to have, given that of course other than that she doesn't have any start of turn defense. It allows her to tank even in Extreme Super Battle Road or in the God even I found, which is very nice. And to top it all off, if things weren't even already pretty good at that, she has her amazing active skill, which is not only super easy to activate from 3rd turn from the start of battle, it gives all allies a 33% active skill buff, which is very effective not only for her healing, but for all the other units on rotation doing much more damage, allowing you to clear a stage easier.
Yeah, and I would like to also add that she is so good, in fact, that whales like Goresh would even put her in Space Traveling Warriors as just a floater unit because of that active skill to increase that 33% attack boost. And, of course, that free healing. And the stunning is also very, very important when it comes to Super Battle Road as well. Yeah.
And along with that, she has a decent link set, things like, Saiyan Lineage, Shattering the Limit, All the Family, and she's on a nice number of category teams, very good ones like Goku's Family and GT Heroes. So overall, a very powerful and strong unit that you definitely want to get, especially if you're just a free-to-play player.
Moving on, you'll kind of get the idea of what the, next few units are, being all LRs. We have the Physical Kid Gohan, LR Super Battle Road reward number 1. With the Extreme Z Awakening, this guy has become from, a very low tier LR card to like one of the best, which is why he's on this list. I think the most important thing is that he's easy to activate his full passive, only requiring Goku on the team on the turn. And you get, instant 58% damage reduction. He's now got, with that damage reduction, the attack and defense boost, plus 77% at the start of the turn. Doesn't even matter if you have Goku or not. So you should have good attack and defense stats. He's self-sufficient with 2 ki, and the ki plus 7 as well. And not only that, with Goku, or if not with Goku, but if he has less than 58% HP, he gets 58%. So, when you're kind of down in the health, he can bring back the team with some extra damage. I also like his Ultra Super Attack mechanic, which is greatly raised attack and defense. That cannot be looked past. And of course, I think a really good thing about him is that all types leader for 3 ki and 120% stat boost. For his links, it might not be the greatest thing ever, but if you have the right Goku, you should be activating kind of majority of it, like Z Fighters, Saiyan Lineage, All in the Family, Saiyan Warrior Race, and maybe Legendary Power. And then the categories, of course, he is in Goku's Family, which is very strong, Hybrid Saiyans, Youth. He can be a leader for pretty much all of these categories, pretty much.
Alright, and moving on to the number 3 spot, we do have the World Tournament Super Saiyan Gohan Teen, or as we all call him, High School Gohan. This guy is just, you want to run him basically every team you have, because he's such a really good support unit, giving superclass allies 2 ki and 30% attack and defense. Along with that, he gets his own attack and defense 58% at the start of turn. And if that wasn't already pretty nice, he reduces damage received by 58%, which is a pretty high number on top of those start of turn stat boosts. That allows him to take even in, again, things such as the most difficult content like Extreme Super Battle Road or even the God events. And he'll be a very nice floater in all of your teams. He has a very solid link set as a Gohan, having things like Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Lineage, being able to support teams such as Majin Buu Saga, Goku Family, Super Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans. That's overall a very strong and powerful unit that is definitely not to be underestimated, and I just love him.
Yeah, and the reason why he's so up here is just because he's so versatile. Like you said, you can be on any of these categories. You can be on pretty much any team with super class allies, and he will be great defensively. You don't have to really worry about him, getting the team loss, and that support is just, chef's kiss at the end of the day. So this one's a little doozy, okay? I feel like we're going to be the only ones here with a tie number 1 spot. So technically Gohan was number 2, if you really think about it. These two were so hard to really, choose which one was better because they had both good things going for both of them. So I'm going to be talking about the Ella Frieza here. Ella Prime Battle Frieza, STR Prime Battle, Easy Aid, okay? The reason why he's just so good is that link set is just so strong for almost every single team that he's in, because there's most of the categories that he is in is very extreme eccentric. So you will activate big bad bosses. You will activate First for Conquest, Legendary Power, Fear and Faith, Universe's most malevolent, strongest clan. Like literally almost that whole link set is usable. And then not only that, he has amazing, attack and defense, and also good utility with the greatly lowering attack and defense. And then if you put him in the second or third spot, he can greatly raise, or even the first spot, really, greatly raise attack and defense for that 12 key mechanic, which is awesome. His leader skill is pretty decent as well, being extreme class leaders 4 key and 90% stat boost. And it's just so easy to get his 18 key as well because of that link set and because of his self-sufficient passive, giving him key +3 as long as he's in the first or third attacker spot. And if you're versing superclass allies, which is way more common than versing extreme class allies, key +3 when attacking superclass enemies. Any additions to that?
No, the Ella Frieza is very powerful. Many teams, and he works on all of them. He's just an overall very good unit. And I'm sure most of you guys know who else we have tied for number 1. That would be LR Master Roshi, that came out during the 6th year anniversary. Now, global players don't exactly have this unit yet, but let me tell you, this guy is good in so many different areas and so many different situations. One of the big things about him is his, in my opinion, would be his Turtle Skull category ally. Key 3, 40% attack and defense support. That means he basically supports any Goku unit in the game, which we all know there's going to be so many Gokus and Krillins. He has solid defense start of turn. He has a 30% chance to dodge. And one of the most important things about him would be he is able to revive if there's 2 or more Turtle Skull category allies on the team. Another 2 or more, so it doesn't include himself. But if he's under 50% HP entering the turn, and as long as you have that condition, he could survive KO attacks, or any unit in your rotation can survive KO attacks, and he'll come back and recover 60% HP, which is a very huge thing. He also is able to have some very nice usage in Super Battle Road, being able to have a great chance to stun on 12 key, and being able to seal on his 18 key super attack. He's on a nice amount of category teams that are very good, such as Reps Universe 7, Kamehameha, Universe Survival Saga, where his Turtle Skull category ally support could really come into play. And of course, he is also the only Turtle Skull category ally leader of 120%, which is a very solid team that you could run. Overall, a very powerful and strong unit.
Yeah, so with Ella Frieza, with that good link set solo, potential, Master Roshi has that as well, but also with the utility of the stunning and the sealing and the support. So if you want to let us know in the comment section which one you find better, let us know. And that wraps up pretty much the top 10 best free-to-play LRs in Dokkan of all time. Make sure you have the notification bell on when you subscribe to 5/9, because we're actually going to be doing later on in this year the top 10 best free-to-play cards of 2021, and I'm sure the rest of this year is going to be releasing some more crazy free-to-play units, just like the Master Roshi and just like the Ella Frieza. Any last words, Minato, before we end things off here?
No, you guys just feel free to stay tuned as we go ahead and bring out some more content for you. Again, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, notification bell if you would like, and that's basically wrapping up our top 10 free-to-play units.
Alright guys, so we'll see you in the next video. Till then, peace out.